What's up guys, Zion here, and today I want to talk to you guys whether or not if you can actually be racist towards white people or not, and if forced diversity is racist. Yeah, I know, it's it's a really controversial argument that's going on between lefties and righties, or SJWs and Trump humpers. So I want to give my 2 cents on it, and I also want to mostly give facts on this as well as like moral perspective and whatnot. Obviously everything is up to your own perspective, how you see things, but everybody has their own sides. So let's get into the first thing, whether or not if you can be racist towards white people or not. So if I hop on Google here and look at the definition of racism, so the official definition for racism here is prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against a person or people on the basis of their membership of a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized, a program of combat racism. So let's keep that definition in mind, right? Rolling on to this first screenshot here. I made a post that says, oh, you're a game developer? Then you better have the protagonist to be a black person, or else I'm gonna call you a racist and cancel you. So, you know, it was a joke tweet to kind of make fun of people who think like that. But, Mooney replies, saying, wait, people actually think that? And replied with a retarded fucking reaction picture that I don't think anyone really cares about. And so I just replied back saying, SJWs do because you are whitewashing the game. Whitewashing is a term referred to, in this context, making the game only white people. And so Scrimsock says, if someone says that to you, they are racist. Alright, pretty reasonable for, you know, pretty reasonable thing to say, in my opinion. But we haven't gotten to the juicy bits yet, which I'm going to be bringing up facts and information, right? This is just my opinions going into this real quick. So, next screenshot we have here is our enemy, known as Spong. Now, Spong came off to me as a really reasonable, nice person. So, Spong just asked how, but I just reply back saying, because it's racist towards white people. And here we go. He says, for one, you can't be racist to a white person. 2, people want diversity, not one race. They want it mixed, and it is not to stop white people in the game. Right, so this is how he struck me as a reasonable person, is because of that second comment. I reply back saying, 1, as a victim, yes you fucking can. 2, forced diversity is racist, and a lot of companies have been sued over that. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, alright, companies, I believe Walmart, were not hiring people because they were white and they wanted more colored people in here. And just for proof, right, here we go. So, New York Times post here. In 2014, Google became one of the first technology companies to release a race and gender breakdown of its workforce. It revealed, to no one's surprise, that its staff was largely white or Asian and decidedly male. I don't think they decided to make everybody male. I think it was just a coincidence that most females that are in the workforce are not computer savvy, just statistically. If you want me to bring up proof, or, you know, where the statistics at of this claim, feel free to comment. I can't be fucked to put it in this video. So, the company explained that it disclosed the figures in part because it wanted to be held accountable publicly for not looking the way we wanted to. The way they wanted to look was diverse. They want to look diverse. Since then, Google has made modest progress in its plan to create more diverse workforce, with the percentage of women at the company ticking up a bit. but a spate of recent incidents and lawsuits highlight the challenges the company has faced as it has been dragged into a national discussion regarding politics, race, and gender in the workplace. Google is being sued by former employees for going too far with its diversity effort. It is also being sued for not going far enough. Shit! Imagine if you're already breaking the law and you're being sued for not breaking the law even more. My impression is that Google is not sure what to do, said Michelle Miller, a co-executive director at coworker.org, a workers' rights organization that has been working with the same Google employees. It prevents the ability of a company to function when one group of workers is obstinately focused on defending their coworkers with whatever it takes. The division within Google spilled into the open last year when James Damore, a software engineer, wrote a memo critical of its diversity programs. He argued that biological differences and not a lack of opportunity explained the shortage of women in leadership in technical positions. Google fired Mr. Damore. He filed a lawsuit in January with another former employee claiming that the company discriminates against white men and conservative views. With conservative views, my bad. In a separate lawsuit, a former recruiter for YouTube sued Google because he said he was fired for resisting to mandate to hire only diverse, female, or black and Latino candidates. That's our problem here, right? So if we're going on with what he said, forced diversity is racist, and companies have been sued over that, what I said, this is an example how Google is being sued for not going far enough for the diversity effect, which is laying off people and replacing them with people of different races and sexes and whatnot. People are hired based on their skill set. It does not matter what race, what gender, you know, whatever the fuck you are. If you can do the job good, you get hired. So that's where I come from, right? I don't care about your race. I don't care if you're black, white, green, fucking blue. If you could do the job, then do the job. But Google here is like, nah, we're gonna save your resume and all your life accomplishments for secondhand. What we're focusing on primarily is what you were born as, which we have laws here in America that protect against that. I don't know what those laws are off the top of my head, but I guess I can research that for you. With that being said, Google here is clearly breaking the law because they are violating the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which is still in effect. Now that we covered the legal terms, forced diversity is racist, and a lot of companies have been sued over that. Yep, my claim right here is right, that they've been sued over that. Forced diversity is racist if you do it in that way. If you force diversity by just hiring more people on top of what you got and leaving it as that, what's the harm? Except if you are hiring people strictly because of their race, which I guess I just invalidated my own point I was making. Forced diversity is racist no matter how you go on about it. First point is down. Now, let us continue. You cannot be racist to a white person. The definition of racism itself completely wipes this off. I understand where people are coming from, saying you can't be racist to a white person. See, in their perspective, they believe that white people have this massive privilege that we're basically living on thrones, and that we've never seen any prejudice like black people have, right? We haven't seen racism, because how can you be racist to somebody that's white, you know? How can you how can someone that just blends in with the norm, how can you be racist to that? That's their perspective, and I'm here to tell you how. My nose ring's fucking up.
2 hours later.
But I haven't got into the other screenshots yet, so I want to continue this argument with him, right? And so he says, care to give an instance? There's nothing to be racist to a white person about. 2, it is not forced diversity. If you refuse to make your characters diverse when requested, you are probably racist. Here's a video of a woman saying, check your privilege to a white woman.
Okay, excuse me, I need to get by my door.
Now, don't push me.
Just go to the bathroom and sit down. You need to go to the bathroom. I need to get
She
to
put
my
her
door,
hands in
ma'am.
me.
Ma'am, I need to get to
She
my
want me to
door.
go to jail. Y'all see how she antagonizing me?
Valerie.
Y'all see how the lady doing me?
Ma'am.
Look, and then she coming.
You
Look,
need to go to the
all I'm
bathroom.
trying to do is use the bathroom.
Then
Watch,
go to the
watch.
bathroom.
The lady is getting aggressive with me.
You're not listening. Go to the
I'm not a
bathroom.
child. I'm grown. I'm trying to use the bathroom. The lady is coming.
I need
I
to
see
get
the
to my door,
bathroom.
ma'am.
Now she needs to get to her door. Can I get to my bathroom?
No.
What do I gotta listen to?
Nobody's
blocking you. What I gotta listen to? Are you my boss? You are white privilege. You're not my boss. Sit down. Sit down. Oh, thank you. You're not my boss.
I need to
And
get
you're
to
not
my
my
door.
boss.
To just
You're white privilege. Sit down.
Yes.
You don't have privilege over me.
Oh, I don't.
Thank you.
So
You have
I
privilege.
need
No,
to-
but all of a sudden you gotta go back here. You wait for me to get to my bathroom and have respect for me like you've been having.
So basically what had happened here, what is happening here is that some woman is upset for some reason, and this lady just wants to get through to use the bathroom or something, but she's not letting her. And as a way to prove herself in an argument, she says, check your privilege to this white woman. This is a very classic example of how black people can be racist to white people. Again, this black woman is saying check your privilege to the white person, the white lady, because, you know, she's white and she believes that she's privileged because she's white. That's what people mean when they say check your privilege, right? If you are hating on somebody for being white, well, guess what? Let's look at the definition of racism again. Prejudice, discrimination, and antagonism. This lady was doing all three. She's prejudiced towards white people, clearly, because she's going on a racist rant about, you know, how she feels like shit for being black and how white people are, you know, good to go on everything. So, you know, that's prejudice. Discrimination, yeah, she's yelling at the lady. She is yelling racial insults at her. And antagonism, yeah, she's really antagonizing her because she's just trying to use the bathroom, but she's not letting her, and she's yelling at her and calling and saying racist things to her, right? What is the check your privilege card? Never heard it, even me being black. So how could you get bullied for being white, the race that has made every other race seem lower than it? I've already answered this in my video here. 2, I literally just said if a company is requested to make a game more diverse and they refuse only, then they are racist, and there is no harm in doing that. However, they haven't, there is no issue if they would have been open to make characters more diverse. What he is talking about for his second point is if somebody says, hey, I noticed a lot of your characters are white, can you change them? As a game developer, you know, this can be pretty conflicting if you are trying to make something historically accurate. Because as we know, something being historically accurate, you know, 80 years ago, people were racist as fuck, you know? During World War I, people were racist. Everybody has been racist for a very long time. Don't get me wrong, I'm not denying it, you know? But if I want to make a historically accurate game and you know, and suppose we're fighting as Americans, and you ask me, can we make the protagonist black? I'm gonna say no, because black people weren't really in the army, right? They couldn't be in the army during World War II, right? And here's a quick fact check, right? During World War II, the Army Air Service needed more people and recruited black men to train as pilots in the Tuskegee Airmen program. Black men and women also served in administrative and supportive roles. I just fact checked myself, but let's get this right. could black men join the German army in World War II? I'm not getting any quick answers, but basically because of Hitler killing people and putting them into concentration camps because they were black and Jewish and stuff, it'd be quite obvious that you couldn't be black and join the army. So, am I racist for not making a character black because I want my game to be historically accurate? No. No, because there's no prejudice, right? I'm not saying I'm not making the character black because I hate black people. I am saying I'm not making the character black because that wouldn't make any sense for the historical time period. And that's just one example. There's others I could come up with, but my reason for not wanting to add a black person as a protagonist to my World War II game about German soldiers is not because of I can't pronounce that word. I'm not refusing to add them to the game because I'm prejudiced, right? It's not discriminatory because it didn't happen back then. And antagonism. Yeah, I'm not antagonizing anybody by not adding. If you feel antagonized by me not adding something to a game, that's where I just kind of have to say that's on you. You know, I can't control the way you feel. I can't do anything to make you feel better. This is a decision we're going with because that's what happened back then. They were prejudiced. They were were very discriminative against black people, and they were antagonizing the hell out of black people if they ever saw them. But I'm not. Right? Right, so with that being said and done, we carried this video out for way longer than I wanted to, but I want to share one last thing with you guys. You know how in the beginning of the video I said that Spong kind of turned into a dickhead? Well, here's how. So, in one of my replies, which I did not see, where I say HWs do because you're whitewashing the game, he says, "Shut the fuck up with the HW label, you fucking incel." I'm an incel. Ricky! Come here real quick. Gonna introduce you to some people. Hi, this is my boyfriend. I am not an incel because I have a boyfriend and he loves me a lot and I do not even simp for him, so thank you for letting me prove a point. Love you. So yeah, I'm not an incel. I'm just a gamer, which who knows, like a lot of gamers are incels, so maybe that's not a good example. But anyways, throwing incel without knowing the meaning. Good job, Hawk. I salute you there. Someone who is right-winged will shoot up their school because they couldn't get a GF. I thought you were cool, Spong. I thought you were a bro. I thought that you were a reasonable person on the internet, but you ruined it. You ruined it for everybody. You ruined it for all the reasonable people out there. You made them look bad. And the people you were trying defending, you made them look bad. Because you're being a dick.